Everybody, it's Chris again. I'm here to remind you that one of the most important things that you can do to help you realize your financial goals is to develop a strategy to help you reach those goals and then make sure that you stick to that strategy. It is much easier to change the course at every sign of difficulty than it is to stick with a long-term strategy through both the ups and the downs of the market. Now, we often see people go through this cycle of fear and greed. People watch a strategy do well and they end up getting a little bit greedy. So what they end up doing is they buy in at the top of the market. And when the strategy has some difficulty, they get fearful and then they sell near the bottom. Then they wait on the sidelines for just that perfect moment to know that it's safe to invest again. And that's usually near the next top. And they keep going through this cycle until they're broke. Now, we saw this type of human action in full effect several times over the last few decades. The dot-com bubble of the late 90s, the real estate market of the mid-2000s, and the bull market that just recently ended last year. Don't make these same mistakes today. Now, we've seen this pattern of behavior repeatedly throughout the history of mankind, and it's simply human nature to get greedy and to double down when we have lost all ability to look back to the last time when there was trouble. It's only natural for us to get fearful when we see negative reactions in the market. These are the type of instincts that served us very well when we ourselves were prey, when we were the ones being hunted on the plains without access to modern medicine to help us recover from an animal attack. But fear may be as old as life on Earth. It's fundamental, it's deeply wired reaction, evolved over the history of biology to protect organisms against a perceived threat to their integrity or their existence. Fear may be as simple as that cringe of an antenna in a snail that's touched, or as complex as existential anxiety in a human. Our brains are just not naturally equipped to deal with the ups and the downs of the market. We need to act appropriately and be able to overcome that part of our brains. And that's just not easy to do. It's only natural to feel anxious when the market has a downturn. It can cause us to panic and we begin to enter our fight or flight response, and that can lead us to some poor decisions. When the situation comes up, we need to have a thoughtful plan that has been laid out to help us reach success. We need to stay true to our plan, for the worst time to jump out of a ship is in the middle of a storm. Now, this is not to say that we should never adjust our plan over time, for the only thing that is constant is change. However, we should make those changes with clear minds and hearts, not in the middle of a stress reaction caused by whatever crazy headlines are on the news. We should fully understand and be fine with the fact that any plans that we have made are going to require some changes over time. And we need to be certain that those changes are well thought out and proactive in nature, not reactive. If you're a couple in your 40s, remember that your plan needs to work not just for the next 5 months or 5 years, but for the next 5 decades. I'm a big fan of Stephen Covey, and he says, begin with the end in mind. Your plan should begin with where it is that you want to end up, with your values and your true goals. It is that plan that should lead your decisions, not the news or the headlines or what the neighbors are doing. Stay true to your own values despite the obstacles laid out before you, and you will get to where you truly want to be and have enjoyed the journey along the way. I'm Christopher Klepp, and this has been your Bridge Towards Wealth.